Because the version of Islam that they showed you, the one that grades your marriageability by your waistline, that treats your silence as a substitute for your dignity, that's not Islam. You know, that's a man's insecurity dressed in a dub. You know, I think about this a lot. Because the real answer to that version of Islam has been sitting in our history the whole time. And we almost never talk about it. You know, consider who the first Muslim was. Khadija radiallahu anha. You know, we're talking about a woman who employed our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam before he became a prophet. You know, who proposed marriage to him. You know, who was 15 years his senior, who ran one of the most successful trading businesses in all of Arabia. And who was the first human being on earth to accept the revelation when it came. No. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never remarried during her lifetime. You know, he spent the rest of his life speaking of her with love and sending gifts to her friends years after her death. It's just as that is the Islam that you come from. You know, you deserve better. And Islam's version of better is the one that gave you your rights 1400 years ago, that British and European and Western law only discovered last century. So he is not your enemy. You know, you have to understand, he's a man navigating the same hostile world that you are. You know, I'm talking with less support, less language for his pain, and an entire industry waiting to fill that silence. You know, your liberation is not found by leaving him behind. It is found by refusing to let them separate you.